Alright, this is video number 6 of the Tao of Jeet Kune. We're going to be on page 8. I left off at this part right here. Okay, so I'm going to read what it says, and then if you have any reflection, give me any reflection. Wisdom does not consist of trying to wrest the good from the evil, but in learning to ride them as a cork adapts itself to the crests and the throes of the waves. Well, we'll just start right there, and then we're going to continue on after that. Do you have anything to say about that one?
Let's read it one more time.
Wisdom does not consist of trying to wrest the good from the evil, but in learning to ride them as a cork adapts itself to the crests and throes of the waves.
Well, it sounds like what he's trying to say there. It's like you're trying to fight between the knowledge and fact. See which one is actually correct. Just adapt yourself to the situation. What he's trying to say to me. It's like try to adapt instead of trying to fight what they're trying to teach you or trying to find a negative in it. Just adapt to it. Basically what he always said. Use what's useful and disregard what's not useful to you. Because instead of you trying to fight with it and say, no, I don't want to learn from it. It's not right. Or I don't think it should be that way. The way you're teaching is not right. Or this is the way it should be taught. So that you come in and fighting with the wisdom that you're trying to teach you. Just adapt to it. Take what is useful and disregard what is not useful. That's what I'm getting out of that. I mean, it's very simple. Trying to fight what they're trying to teach you, because you might come from a different school and they might teach you a certain kind of way, a certain way of fighting or technique, and the teacher trying to teach you, give you some wisdom of what he think it should be or what he trying to teach. Instead of you trying to fight what they're trying to teach you, just adapt to it, just learn from it. Like Bruce Lee always said, you gotta empty up your cup to learn some new stuff. Start trying to fight. If you don't empty up your cup, are you going to learn something new? Because you already got that thing brainwashing your mind saying that that's what it's supposed to be. But no, somebody trying to teach you something new, so you got to be able to open up your cup to be able to understand what they're trying to say. That's why they're trying to say, don't try to fight, wrestle with it, just adapt to it. That's what I'm getting out of that.
I feel it goes back to his other statements, is not about judging good from bad. As soon as you get into that, it's the mind. You have to accept both, just like the yin yang. Like, you can't favor one over the other. Right. You just accept both of them as truth.
Right.
And when he's talking about the cork, we're in the water right. We're just looking at the water right now. It's like the cork just riding the waves from the top to the bottom. It just moves, and it's like it's not having any way of its own. It's just going with the flow.
He's not fighting the water, basically.
Yeah.
The current of the water. He's just going whatever it's going.
Yeah.
It's adapting to it.
Yeah. Alright, next one. Let yourself go with the disease, be with it, keep company with it. This is the way to be rid of it. What do you get from that one?
I get from here like somebody that let's say they're diabetic. They find out that they got a diabetic disease or diabetic and there's sugar or something wrong with the sugar. Instead of he's trying to feel sad or depressed or angry and keep saying why me, why me, why me, just deal with it, cope with it, just accept it, just accept it like somebody else or something else you got to deal with for the rest of your life. Instead of trying to run away from it or just trying to fight it, just accept it and treat it, just keep treating it instead of trying to fight with it and trying to be miserable or depressed or anger. Just work on it. That's what I'm getting from that.
Let yourself go with the disease, be with it, keep company with it. This is the way to be rid of it.
Right.
Gets me to think about the disease of like competition. Like, be with it, meaning like if you're a competitive person, sometimes it takes, you know, for you to just go all the way with it as much as you possibly can, to the point when you start to end up realizing for yourself that this is not the way. It's like some people basically have to learn through experience. Like you try to tell them the truth according to your eyes, but they just don't get it because they haven't gone through it themselves. So if they go through it themselves, then they can discover the truth on their own, and they start to realize that this is a disease, so let me get rid of it. So it could be any addiction. Like, say, you know, people say don't drink alcohol. You're like, whatever, and then you keep drinking and drinking and drinking until you become an alcoholic, and then you get a DUI, you end up, you know, getting in a crash and you kill somebody, and then you start to realize on your own that this is not the way for me, you know, and then you get rid of it, and then it's just out of your own experience. So to me, that's kind of what it gets me to think about. Go with it, be with it, keep company with it, and then you're eventually gonna get rid of it, because basically you're gonna get sick of it. It's like, you know, you love something so much that might be not good for you, but you just keep doing it so much, they end up getting sick of it, and you just get rid of it because it's just too much. You know, that's what that one gets me thinking about. Alright, next one. An assertion is Zen only when it is itself an act and does not refer to anything that is asserted in it. An assertion is Zen only when it is itself an act and does not refer to anything that is asserted in it.
What's your question on that one? I need some enlightenment on that one.
So, I think it means like, when he says Zen, he means meditation. So an assertion is a meditation only when it is itself an act. So only when there's no mind, there's no reference to the ego or mind, and it's just the act in itself. Like, it's just pure action. It's not the mind getting involved. So if it's not like saying, oh, you know, bang, you're doing this, that's not Zen. It's more like you're just doing it. You're just doing what you need to do. Like, you're in movement, but it's not bang moving. It's just movement. It's not even you're in movement. It's just movement. Like, it's not you're in movement. It's not bang's in movement. It's just movement. So the water is just moving. There's no like ego or mind that we're referring to. But for us as humans, we're always like, oh, you know, oh, Sifu's doing this, Bang's doing this, Shen's doing that. We're putting the mind into it. But you take the mind out, it's just the action, pure action. That's meditation. That's what that one gets me thinking about. Next one. In Buddhism, there is no place for using effort. Just be ordinary and nothing special. Eat your food, move your bowls, pass water, and when you're tired, go and lie down. The ignorant will laugh at me, but the wise will understand. What do you get from that one?
What I'm getting, like, he's basically saying that don't let your ego go, basically, and just don't try too hard. Just do the normal thing. Just like I said, just drink water, like when you bob the knee. I eat your proper food and lay down and rest. Instead of start trying to do too much. You know, do too much of what you're supposed to do, and just do the basic stuff, the stuff that you should be doing. You don't try to take on too much at one time or try to do too much, and to the point that you're stretching yourself to the point that you're getting hurt. You know, just do the basic simple thing that your body requires. Get your 8 hours sleep, what he's trying to say. Eat properly, drink water, you know, which the body needs. The body make most of it on water. And eat proper and get your sleep. Instead of trying to do too much. That's what I'm getting out of that. They're not trying to do too much. Do the basic simple stuff.
So this is a common teaching in Buddhism. Osho mentions it a lot. Lao Tzu mentions it a lot from the Tao. There's like no place for using effort. Effort comes from the mind. So once again, he's saying, have no mind, have no ego. Just be natural.
Right.
Just basically be yourself. Don't let the mind, don't be concerned about what other people think and what other people are telling you to do, but just be yourself. So just be ordinary and nothing special. So when you're trying to be somebody special, that means you're trying to meet up to other people's expectations. You know, and then that means you're not being yourself. Then your mind's involved. Then you're like, oh, I don't want to do this because people will think of me this way. Or I don't want to wear that because people will think of me that way. Or I'm going to do this because I want people to think like this. That's not being yourself. So he's saying be ordinary and don't try to be as special. Don't be nothing special. And then Osho would say, when you are ordinary and you're not special, you end up becoming extraordinary because everybody else is trying to become extraordinary and you're not. So then over 99% of the people out there are trying to be extraordinary, but because you're not, you end up becoming extraordinary because everybody else is trying to live up to expectations around them and you're the only one that's not. Right? Eat your food, move your bowls, pass your water, and when you're tired, go and lay down. You know, basically it's just saying like be in meditation in everything you do. When you eat, be in meditation. When you walk, be in meditation. When you go to the bathroom, be in meditation. When you drink water, be in meditation. When you're tired, just go to sleep. You know, don't force yourself to stay awake. He's just basically teaching you, telling you, just be natural. You know, the ignorant will laugh at me, but the wise will understand. So the people, 99% of the people out there that are striving to be extraordinary will probably laugh at you. But the 1% of the people that are wise will understand. You know, they'll see that, hey, you know, this is an enlightened person. You know. Alright, next one. Establish nothing in regard to oneself. Pass quickly like the non-existent and be quiet as purity. Those who gain lose. Do not precede others. Always follow them.
Basically what I'm thinking getting from that passage is like, try basically truly and directly just mind your business and just follow people but don't get involved in their business and just continue doing your business. Pass quietly, don't disturb other people, that way you don't be disturbed. Just act like you're there but you're not there. You know, or you're there but you're not there. Basically, just be, you know, just be in your own space. You don't bother people. Hopefully they won't bother you. And just pass by quietly. You know, so a lot of people sometimes when they got this bad habit that they're always in your business. They're always miserable. So because they're miserable, they're not gonna feel good until they make you miserable. So what he's saying right there, what he's saying is that pass quietly, you know, just keep mind your business and stay out of people's business. And that way you will find peace. The less people in your business, and the less you in their business, you're gonna have total peace. That's what I'm getting out of that.
Okay. Establish nothing in regard to oneself. That to me is like not having an ego and not, you know, taking credit for everything and be like, hey, you know, I did this, you know, give me credit, everybody give me recognition. It's more like you just you do things and you don't put like your mark on it and be like, hey, you know, I'm a special person because I did this. So you don't take credit. Like you just basically just pure action without saying, hey, you know, this, like I'm this, I'm that because I did this. It's like basically taking your ego out of it and it's just pure action. Pass quickly like the non-existent and be quiet as purity.
I'm saying is mind your business.
It's almost like you're not even there. Like you're there but you're not there. Like you're not making a big noise. You know, like people, it's like they just pass by with no notice.
Right. They mean their own world. They're just minding their business.
Those who gain lose. So this gets me to think about people that end up getting like worldwide attention and fame. They're gaining, but in a way they're losing because they're losing their inner peace,
right.
their spirits, and so many people are trying to use them for what they could use them for that they end up becoming just commodities. They're not even like human anymore. They're just being used for what they could be used for until they're used up and then discarded like a material object. And it's sad that, you know, Bruce Lee wrote this, and that's kind of what he became victim to. Because once he gets fame, everybody wants a part of that, a piece of that, until they just keep pushing him and pushing him, pushing him until he just dies. Then they get rid of him, and then on to the next person. You know, so it's not always good to gain.
No.
You know, because you lose a lot in the process.
You lose. It's just like somebody gaining all this information about other person, and the more he gaining, the more you know about that person, you know he's gonna become accomplished because he knows too much about that person. No, he's losing because the more you know, basically negative vibe, negative information, the more you know about it, the more deeply you involved you're gonna be in a negative situation. Sometimes best not to know nothing. You know. Not to know nothing at all, you gain, but if the more you know, negative vibe, you actually lose it. But no, you become a target.
It also gets me to think about, like, you know, a lot of fighters or boxers, even like Muhammad Ali is used an example. Like, he gains by winning a championship, but then he loses his health in the process. You know, getting concussions,
right.
destroying his health. Like, you gain. Okay, you might win that gold medal, but at the cost of what?
Right.
But you might die the very next day because your body couldn't take
right.
the punishment of what you did to it. So he says, do not precede others, always follow them. So I think he's just saying, take the peaceful route. You know, like, it's basically not easy to be a leader, and if you're a leader, it's not all it's cracked up to be. You know, and it's easier to follow and just be at peace. You know, and just
right.
relax.
Right. Less pressure on yourself. Sometimes you become a leader, you got a lot of pressure, people depending on you, and you're in a situation that it's a hard bar for yourself because you got all this pressure. Sometimes all that pressure and depression come in, then you get depressed because you took on all that pressure at once. So sometimes it's best just to follow somebody that's a good leader or somebody like a good teacher, like, you know, like yourself. Follow you, your wisdom, and learn your meditation and your spiritual guidance. Instead of me trying to say I know stuff too, why don't I just bring my stuff, my meditation, my belief into the class? No. That's not what it's all about. It's for me just to follow and learn. And the more I learn, I'm actually winning. Instead of me trying to bring my information for my belief, I mean, end up me and nobody's learning anything because it's too much. It's too much to learn at once. That's a good point, though, man. You know, sometimes you gotta follow. You know, like I'm saying, you gotta, like I'm following here. I'm learning, teaching what you giving me. I'm learning. I'm following you. I'm learning everything you got to say. Instead of me trying to pursue you and question you, why is this, or why is not this, what is right, or what it should be, just follow. Hopefully the person that's guiding you to the right place. That's the only risk you gotta take. You know, that's what he meant by that.
It also gets me to think about when we're talking about, you know, those bikers, those women. Mm-hmm. Remember that one woman that was leading and then she like crashed? Mm-hmm. And right. Then you said that the other woman went right behind her, but then there's a group that was going together. Right. And they're basically, when you're following in a biking situation, you actually save energy. Mm-hmm. Because they're taking the wind because they're leading, mm-hmm. And then you're in the draft. you know,
Right.
and then you use less energy and you go just as fast.
Right, and
So-
they stop pedaling at the same time, on the same energy. Basically, one person is pedaling, another person stop, they lose it. But everybody work together, pedaling at the same time. They all stay in the same rhythm until when it's coming to the finish line, everybody take off at their own speed.
Yeah.
That was what they did to that lady.
Yeah. So it gets me to think about that. Like, there's so much benefit to following. Like somebody like Einstein, for example, a lot of people are following off of his work. You know, and he's obviously following off of other people's work. But you follow somebody who's a great person, it just makes it so much easier for you. You know, like you know, being a father, for example, your child is following you. It makes his life easier.
Right.
You know, it's so much easier.
Right.
And you know, we all follow. Like, you know, you're talking about following me, but hey, you know, now, you know, we're like, you know, I'm following Bruce, right? Following Osho, following Buddha, following great inspirations just makes your life so much at ease. You know, being a leader is not like all it's cracked up to be. And this teaching's talking about the benefits of following, you know?
See, but I think the key is also, the key to me is who you're following.
Yeah,
You just can't follow anybody.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You got to follow somebody that show that they got knowledge, they got wisdom, they're clear, they got positivity. They're good people, because like people in religion, for example, we are trying to follow the steps of Jesus Christ. Like how I do, I try to follow his steps. You know, but it's hard for anybody to stay in rhythm with his steps because nobody's perfect. But at least we have somebody we could use as a guidance to follow. Instead of you trying to follow any given person, and you know that person got weakness. So you have to basically follow the right person. Once you find the right person, you hold on to that person and hold on to what you got to teach. Because people could teach anything and say anything, but then when outside they do just something different. So you'd be like, okay, why am I following you? But when you're indoors, you talk a good game. When you're outside, you're doing the opposite of what you're trying to teach. So why am I following you? See what I'm saying? So the key to me is, I'm not saying it's a good thing to be a follower because you want to be a leader, because you want to be a lion. You don't want to be a sheep. You don't want to be following all the time. You want to be a lion too. Because also society got you trained to believe that you are a sheep and you're not a lion. But the key is that once you find that great leader, like different leaders above normal people, a good lion, you just got to turn in your humbleness and be your eagerness and follow that lion because he's a great leader. Simple as that. There's no problem following somebody so long as he's a great leader, a good person to follow. You know.